afternoon, evening, even. Hey, so me and my lovely wife, cleared our garage out today, and ended up putting it all back again, of course. But there was method to that madness. But we cleared out and kind of found out lots of things for selling, lots of things for chucking away, and lots of things for keeping. And one of the things that I found was a pair of basketball boots of mine. Now, and I was very happy that I found them because I didn't know where they were. So I thought I would do a little pointless piece to camera story about this particular subject. The subject is my Nike Air Jordan story, grown from everyone who's heard it before. So it's good though. It's a good story. So in 1985, I'm not a basketball fan. I've never been a basketball fan. I've never followed basketball. I've never played basketball other than at school badly. I'm terrible at it. I don't follow it. I'm not really a sports guy in that sense, team sports anyway. I was always a sort of tennis and golf and sort of volleyball even. Just not really into bodybuilding, not really into team sports, not a football fan, but obviously you play all these things at school and you do all that sort of stuff when you're growing up. And around about 85, everyone wore basketball boots. If you didn't wear Chuck Taylors or DMs or monkey boots, or if you didn't wear any stuff like that, you were often, certainly in where I grew up in the UK and in East Anglia, everyone wore basketball boots. And the first pair of basketball boots that I had that I loved were made by Hi-Tech. They were Hi-Tech League basketball shoes, and they weren't the ones to have. These were my first ones that were branded, kind of cool. Hi-Tech's. Hi-Tech was sort of brand that was considered quite cool at the time, and but the cool Hi-Techs to have were the Hi-Tech Techs. The Techs were the ones. I never had a pair of them, but I had these Leagues, and I actually liked the League. But I actually looked them up, see if I could find a picture of the two of them, and I still liked the League design better. I liked they had a little metal ring, right? So you had the sort of normal eyelets up to the sort of middle of the sort of row of holes, and then between the lower sort of part of the upper part of the shoe and then the upper bit, the high top bit, you had this kind of metal ring either side where the lace would go through. And I just like the design. This design was more aggressive, I thought, than the Techs, but the Techs were the ones that were really popular. Anyway, I had them, the Leagues, and they were typical basketball shoe of the time. They were white, predominantly white, with a blue Hi-Tech arrow. And so that same year, Nike famously signed Michael Jordan to his first year, and the Air Jordan 1 shoe was launched. And obviously there's a load of you can YouTube the the kind of story, the controversy, and all the details around that. The best one was I learned recently that I always labored under the misconception that the Air Jordan 1 was banned by the NBA, which it was kind of. It wasn't banned. It was basically he was fined every time he wore them, but then he didn't really wear them. There was it's weird. He had this kind of pair of shoes that were sort of that colorway, this black and red and with the white midsole colorway, which he actually wore that season, because the real deals weren't actually ready for him during that season. So I understand. Anyway, it's all irrelevant. The point is they signed Jordan, Nike signed Jordan, and they designed the Air Jordan 1, and the colorway that got him into trouble, and the one that's most iconic in terms of that first shoe, was what I've also recently discovered they call the bread, which is black and red. The bread colorway. Anyway, so fast forward, I think to, it may have been 85. It may have been 85, but I think it was 86. So it was 86, and I was, I got left some money. A sort of not distant, but a partner of a relative died and left me some money. 50 quid, right? In 1985, 50 quid is what? Maybe 80 quid's worth, whatever. And I was wondering what to spend my 50 quid on. And I wandered down into my local town, Sudbury. And we had a little sports shop, Sudbury Sports. And it was down at the bottom of Market Hill, and they had a little window. And it was only a small little shop. It wasn't a chain or anything. It was a small shop. And in the window, there was this pair of crazy... I'm going to swap hands because my arm's getting tired. There was this crazy pair of basketball boots. And I can't remember whether I'd seen them for some time and kind of lusted after them, or whether I saw them once and kind of... No, I did. I think I saw them multiple times and kind of thought, oh, I like them. And anyway, they were a pair of Jordan 1s, and they were 44 quid, I think. And they were my size. They were a 9, which I was at the time. And or were they a 9? I don't know whether my feet had finished growing by then. Anyway, whatever. I bought them, and weirdly, I kind of instantly regretted it, because the trouble with the Jordan 1 was that black, red, and with the white midsole colorway was really difficult to... It was really difficult to pull off in terms of wearing it with jeans or whatever, or wearing it with clothes. They kind of... I don't know. It's weird. I've even seen videos on YouTube about this issue with that shoe, in terms of, like who can pull off wearing bread Jordans and who can't, and who does it well and who doesn't. And I I really related to that video, because I was thinking, you know what, this is what happened to me back then when I was 15. I bought these shoes, bought these Jordans, and I loved them. I absolutely adored them, everything about them. I loved the color, I loved the design, I loved the red swoosh, I loved the Air Jordan basketball logo on the side embossed into the thing. The tongue, the Nike Air on the tongue. I loved it, loved them, right? But whenever I put them on and wore them, they didn't feel right. I would look down at my feet and think that they just didn't go with my jeans very well, or whatever I was wearing, And so I tended to not wear them, and then wear the leagues, wear the old Hi-Tecs more. And I wore them into the ground. I could walk through the sole, and it started flapping about, and and so the Jordans stayed pristine for a couple of years, and then I did start wearing them again. And in fact, I think at the time, in the late 80s, I had no notion, no idea that they could be worth something, or that they were valuable, or something to cherish. And so I think I wore them for work. I think because I was, at the time, I was doing a lot of labouring, as a way to earn a bit of pocket money. I worked sometimes for my brother, who was a general builder, and sometimes for my uncle, who was also a general builder. And so I did a lot of mixing concrete and painting and whatever, but they were still in really good condition. I didn't wear them that much, but I did wear them a bit in doing that. Anyway, so fast forward again, and it's like 1998, 99, something like that. And I'm in the Ship and Star pub in Sudbury, and I'm talking to my future wife, Joanna, and her brothers, Jonathan and Patrick, and who I knew first. And I was telling them the Jordan story, right? And I think Patrick, he didn't believe me that I had some. I don't think. I think he was skeptical anyway. I think he was anyway, because by that time they'd become collectible. The original Jordans, by the late 90s, they were collectible, and I didn't know that. I had no idea. And so I'm telling them the story about the Jordans, and he says, he asks me the most pertinent question possible, which is, have you still got them? And I was like, I don't know. And my brain just wouldn't work. I was like, yeah, I could have. And I thought of all the places that they could have been in my parents' house and things like that, and just cupboards here and boxes there. And I was laboring under the, absolutely wrong notion that I still had them. But I was I was getting excited. I was thinking, wow, this is worth some money. I mean, thousands, they were worth thousands at the time. And I was like, so I was like, are they under the stairs? Are they, Anyway, so I just happened to be talking about this. And it was, I think, like a Christmas Eve, or it was, something like that, Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve at the pub. And talking about this, in earshot was my oldest friend in the world, Nathan Dennis. Watch you, Nathan. We grew up on the same street together, right when we were tiddlers. And we'd lived together in my first year of college, and up in Liverpool, and he is a good friend and lifelong friend, and brother from another mother. And and he heard us talking, and he said, "I know what happened to them." And I was like, "What happened to what? What happened to them?" And he said, "You gave them to me." And all of a sudden, that sort of, my memory kind of zeroed in on that little fact being true. Yeah, I thought to myself, did I? Maybe I did, and it sort of, I thought, oh. And of course, Nathan was an athlete, he still is. He was into triathlon, and he was biking and running, and he was really a really active guy, right from when we were kids and right the way through to now. And he would destroy his trainers, because he gave them a lot of wear. He would wear them out. And he said that after I gave them to him, and to be fair, I don't think they were pristine anymore when I gave them to him. In fact, but I'm not really sure why I gave them to him, or why he'd want them, to be honest. But anyway, I gave them to him, and he wore them into the ground, chucked them away. So that was the end of those, and eventually I managed to procure the only surviving, as far as I know, photograph of the Jordans in my possession, which was taken at a 12-hour overnight hockey marathon that we had at school I guess it must have been sixth form or whatever. 87 maybe, 88 possibly. I can't remember. Possibly one of my old school chums might know that. I've forgotten. Katie, you'll probably remember because you're in the photo. Yeah, and so someone took a photo of me and my friend Graham drawing biro all over another mate who was passed out. Maybe there was some alcohol. And the Jordans are right there in the shot, right next to me. So anyway, I was a little gutted about the whole thing coming to that conclusion. I was like, oh man, these things are worth a lot of money. Now, the funny thing is that I don't know, really, hand on heart, I don't know if I had still had them, whether I would have wanted to part with them or not, or whether I would have wanted to keep them, even though they were worth a lot of money. I don't know. It really depends on how much, I guess, because if it was going to be, thousands of pounds, £2,000 or £3,000 or whatever it was, that would have been quite ridiculously a lot of money for me at that time. So maybe I would, but I really don't know. However, those Jordan 1s have kind of remained my favorite, my kind of most I'm not a huge follower of sneaker kind of I didn't even know that Nike had retroed the Air Jordan 1s even once, let alone so many times that they have now. Well, actually, Patrick told me that years later. He said that they retroed them. And so fast forward again to, I don't know when it was, maybe 2000 and, I don't know. Sorry, my arm's getting tired again. Whoa. Stretch. So I can't actually remember when it was. Early 2000s, mid 2000s, even later. It possibly could have been. Anyway, Patrick he's a big collector of trainers and Nikes in particular. And one day, he amazingly presented me with a pair of Air Jordan 1 retros, the reissues, in the box. The ones with the I think they made about 36,000 pairs of this particular release, and then they're all numbered on the inside of the tongue, and it's the one with the little Jumpman keyring thing that comes with it in the box with the Jordans with Michael Jordan's face on it, grey box, silver box. Anyway, very cool, and well, the upshot of that is that I found them today. I found them while we were doing the garage, all tucked up in their little box and wrapped up, and yeah, I am very pleased to have those back in my hot little hands, and just looking at them, you know, still I have a, you know, like I said, I'm still no fan of basketball. I'm not even really a fan of Michael Jordan, because why would I be if I'm not a fan of basketball? I kind of like his face. I guess he's got a sort of quite a kind-looking face. I'm a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar guy because of Game of Death, but an airplane. But tired arm. But I have, continued into my, adult life and into my middle age and everything with a love of those black and red Jordan 1s. I don't really like any of the other Jordans. Jordan 5s are all right, I suppose. I don't know all of them particularly. I like the ones better because I like the old style stuff. Yeah, literally the very next one, the Jordan 2, was kind of they went all kind of, it was like Italian leather and it was all white with this sort of, they kind of, I don't know. They stopped looking like basketball boots to me. I like the colour of the old school stuff. So that's why I like wear my Vandals all the time. I love Nike Vandals, Vandal Supremes. Always loved those. I'm not so into the sort of Air Force Ones and things like that. But anyway, I'm getting off the topic. So they remain my favourite trainer of all time, Air Jordan 1s, and I'm very glad that I have a pair, even if it isn't the original 85 Series 1 OG pair that I had. But there we are, and I'm very, very happy to have them, and very, very grateful to Patrick for giving them to me. What a lovely brother-in-law. And yeah, there we are. I suppose I better go and show them to you. Shall I? Hang on. Oh, I've got to get up. Oh God, absolutely knackered after today's excursion. Sorry for the darkness. Where are they? Here they are. Right. Oh no, that's not them. Where did I put them then? Sorry guys. I will get them instantly. Here they are. Right. Okay. So. Oh yeah. All right. So here is the box with Jordan's image, and here are the shoes. Yeah. So yes. Now these have got white laces. I'm not sure if I put these laces in. They are laced how I would lace them. But I can't remember if I laced them. My original ones had red laces, I think. Red or black, can't remember. Maybe both, can't remember. Anyway, this is the Jordan, Air Jordan 1 retro. And they've done I've looked in, they do a lot of these bloody things, and since they did these ones, they've done tons of the other ones. But they're not always as good as these. Yeah, some of them kind of, they don't necessarily stick to the sort of OG recipe, whereas these are not bad. These are pretty close, as far as I can tell. The trouble is, I'm kind of wholly reliant on either YouTubing it or my memory. But yeah, the sole's right. I think I remember that. And the Air basketball thing. I mean, the only thing that's different on these is, of course, is any instance of the Jumpman logo anywhere on them. Like there's, I think in the inside, I think you can. I think the Jumpman logo's in there. They hadn't done that. I don't think. I think the Jumpman logo appeared later. So the OG 85 ones didn't have it. Anyway, so there we are. Air Jordan 1 in the black, red and white midsole. That's the only colourway that I like. None of the others, thank you. There it is. So, 27 minutes of inane, utter rubbish. And thank you for listening. See you later.